I've had warfare in jail. I got sliced down the side of the face, and I don't know who cut me. It's been non-stop, constant.
Violence?
Violence non-stop. Been stabbed through the chest. I've had my arm broke. I've got 3 broken bones in my hand. I've had murders in here, left, right and centre. And I've gone to him and said, look, at the end of the day, you're putting me in a predicament where I have no alternative but to utilise violence for my safety or to assert position on the wing. And that's totally counterproductive to my progression. I need to go home. I'll just settle baby. Psychologically, it's torture. Emotionally, it's very, very difficult. And with the greatest respect, they're so short-staffed in here, this place can't run. It's unsafe. Even a lot of the staff that are in here are in fear.
Going down 2, so we're going bang up.
And facing this pressure, Jennifer, this is her first job inside a prison.
4 weeks in?
Yeah, 4 weeks in.
You're shaking?
Yeah, but it's, you know, it's the rush. You know, if something going to happen. Like, I've done so much. That was the first time I've used my CNR, which is use of force. It all goes off here.
Job for you?
Yeah, definitely. Like, it happens on a regular basis. We just have to get used to it.
At times inside Wandsworth, it felt relentless. An overcrowded, understaffed Victorian jail. This alarm is because there's been a fight in the yard.
So that looks like a chair leg that was thrown down there.
At least one officer has been hurt.
Are you all right?
We're all leaving.
To understand what happened, we asked to watch the CCTV footage.
There you go.
Okay.
On the left, you can see one inmate attack another with the chair leg, breaking his arm. In seconds, the fight spreads. We're told this was planned. 2 South London gangs fighting over respect.
Every day I wake up and I think I got God with me, so I don't...
Days later, we tracked down the man who started the
So
fight.
it makes me much better.
A rare opportunity to ask why.
It happens every day, it's like...
Violence?
Violence, it just happens every day, just... If it's maybe from this postcode and that postcode and that... And
Do the gangs follow you in here?
Yeah, the gang follow you. When you're a gang member, everywhere you go, you're known you're just known to a gang member and that.
And when you walked out on that yard?
Yeah, when I walked out in the exercise yard, I thought, yeah, I had to fight. I had to fight because if I don't fight in that, I won't be a man. So after all of the end of all of that fighting and that, when I was getting back in, I think, yes, God, at least I made it.
But this is the cost. An inmate hurt and angry.
Yeah, he's waving the stick around, wasn't he? Waving the stick around, waved it at my arm, broke my arm. You got to do what you got to do. There's nothing you can do about it. You get your arm broke and you're left in your cell. 3 days it took them to take me to the hospital. 3 days.
You're vulnerable in here with
What
the broken
kind-
arm.
I have a lot of friends who are wrapped around me, so there's no problem for me, but another person could be very vulnerable.
The threat of violence was everywhere. This prisoner had boiling water and sugar thrown over his face. Another had been beaten up. Just another fight, he said, all part of prison life.
You've got to be able to defend yourself, innit? If you can't defend yourself, then you'll become a victim, innit?
How many fights have you had in here?
In this jail, I had about 5, 6. 5, 6, to be honest with you. Yeah.
The most violent inmates are sent here, the segregation unit.
We're facing this. These out, so these can all come at you when you come through that door. And they're heavy.
That's going to do some damage, isn't it?
Yeah. But the whole landing, all these cells, you see the fella opposite you, all this cell has been flooded, the whole lot. There's another cell over there, I think we're a 13, 14 bed unit, and we're only half working because the cells are just getting taken out.
And this is what it takes just to feed some prisoners. Officers wearing helmets, delivering a sandwich.
How dangerous is this job?
He's getting dangerous, he's getting worse.
Every day we saw the pressure.
Excuse me, sir.
This is because another inmate is refusing to go back to his cell.
we doing, guys? Myself, Chris Predator OBE, hitting you with a quick one. Real talk, true season. I just want to ask everyone a question right now, because it seems like our kids have no fear of going and taking a life. That's one thing. But the fact that you guys don't even sit there and feel like, all right, I dislike this guy and I don't care, but if you get me, he's a op, I'm going to jock him up. But don't you care about your own life, knowing that when you get caught, you're going to sit down for 25 to life? Like, think about what I'm saying. And obviously, a lot of it doesn't dawn on you until you realize that your brethren are not your brethren, until you realize that your coldies don't come up and ride for you, till you realize that you won't have a life, you won't have children, you won't be able to get away, you won't be able to go to birthdays, Christmases, you might not be able to watch your mum grow old and everything and go to the funerals, all these kind of things. And I'm sitting there thinking, all right, everybody wants to be a bad man, but no one don't want to be a bad man when they touch 25 to life. No one doesn't want to be a bad man when they're actually sitting in there 10 years later, realizing that the brethren are pum-pums anyway, and most of their brethren were fake. They don't actually realize when they're sitting there saying, "Rah, do you know what? I had a child, and now I haven't gave no installation to that child, and now that single mother's going to have to raise that child, for that child to only grow older, to have a dysfunctional life, not have morals, not have values, for not having a father in the household. He's now going to grow up and not know how to be a dad. He's going to grow up and not know how to be a man. He's going to grow up and have women tell him that he's toxic, or he's not understanding, he's emotionally unavailable." So these kind of things, when I'm sitting there looking at a lot of our men, and I'm sitting there saying to myself, "Raw, like, we play the bad man image to a point a lot of us deep down inside our heart just want a warm hug, just want to kiss, just want to be able to cuddle and sit down and be able to feel loved and be able to feel cared for." 9 times out of 10, when you're running around with your friends, when was the last time your brethren said, "Bruv, man, care about you, cuz go and pattern up and go and focus on that creativity you got, you're sick at drawing, bruv, no one's there, like, I will help you, I'm going to put money into you." What about that friend that always sits there, bruv, you get me, and he's just sick with numbers, stocks and shares, but no one ain't saying, "Do you know what, man, let's all get our money together and let's invest it into Jordan, and Jordan's going to do some stocks and shares and start popping up this thing." No, we sit there and say, "No, let me go and back my brethren because he's struggling, I'm struggling, let's go and do a robbery. No, I'm going to back my friend because he's walking down the street and someone tried to rob him, I'm not going to have it." And all these kind of things, when, yes, it's a loyal thing to do for your brethren, but where's the loyalty in your friends wanting you to live, wanting you to have your flowers? Now we put down flowers on graves all the time and looking back at memories and saying, "Nah, he was a real one, and yeah, man, he could have been a footballer, man, he could have been a rapper, he could have been anything he wanted to be," and we're giving the flowers down, looking down, when we should have been giving the flowers when he was alive. We should have been popping them up when he was alive. We should be sitting there and saying to ourselves, "Okay, what am I grinding for? I'm grinding on the road because I feel anyway that it's a struggle and I need to get out of this kind of struggle and the pit that I'm in." So a lot of people say that they're sold drugs, do you know what, man's there to get out of the rut that they're in, or to get out of the ghetto. Once upon a time, that was the theory. So once again, if that is the theory of getting out, why aren't we supporting our own self about getting out? We can't just have one method and then sit there and complain about the government, sit there and complain about everything else when you're causing destruction to your own community. Like, peep the game, you're causing destruction to your own community. I know you're getting your bands up, I know you're in the band though, but you're selling crack to someone else's child, you're selling crack to someone else's son, someone else's daughter, shattering someone else's life, having a ripple effect in the sense of karma. Karma, reap what you sow. Then you're also going out making dirty money. You're running around with knives and guns. You're running around committing crimes. You're running around hurting people. And then you sit there and turn around and be like, "No, man, life's too hard, bruv. You don't know how it is growing up where I'm growing up." Everyone knows how it is growing up where we're growing up, because there's a lot of us that are still going through it. There's a lot of us that are still living in the same area that you're living. Might be living 2 doors down from you, but they're not committing crimes. They're living 3, 4, 5 doors down from you. They're struggling. They ain't got no money. They're trying to get up every single day to do a little 9 to 5 and all the rest of it. You don't see them going and knocking on your door and trying to kick off your jaw, trying to stab you, or trying to make it difficult for living in your area when it's already hard living in your area. I don't know how man them go on like they're so gang, but then you mash down your own area. You're peeing in your own block. You're breaking your own block doors. You don't have no respect. When people are trying to come up the stairs, you're looking at them like, "What do you want?" When they live there too. Once again, you're talking about this is the bando, this is struggle, this is the ghetto, but this is someone else's ghetto, this is someone else's life. So once again, it's just like when I look at all these videos of young people running away from police, running away from authorities, I sit there and say that you must like it then. You must have an idealization that you love prison and you love mandem. That's all I can say. You love mandem, you love being in prison, because obviously you don't love your life enough to know that I want to have experience. You don't love your life enough to be like, "Do you know what? I want to have morals and values, and I want to grow up and be a law-abiding citizen. I want to have great children. I want my children to be able to have more than what I had." I know some of you want that in your life and you don't know how to put that in certain situations, but at the same time, if we believe that going down this route is the best way, but then don't do nothing about it and don't actually rid our wrongs and say, "Do you know what? Let me put my hands up." Still, There could be more that I could be doing. Yes, I know it's hard to get a job. Yes, I know they're going to reject my CV if I've got a criminal record. Yes, I know how hard it is when you've already gone down that pitfall and, do you know what I mean, the society and the government hasn't allowed you to any room or any gap to be able to do something better with yourself. But everybody knows in 2023, you can start your own business. You can become your own entrepreneur. You can actually find other people that's going to be able to be inspired by your story. So if you are an ex-gang member and you've got a creativity or you've got art or you've got something that you can push, you can actually share your story and say to young people, I've been there, done that, won a t-shirt, but I'm using my skills, I'm using my experience to let you guys know on what not to do, on how to be better, how to grow. So a lot of you, like, let's come out of prison, you've got ex-gang members that want to go back into prison and talk to man them and say, man them, allow it, it's long, it's just wasting time, sitting down, wasting time. Then you actually know that you're never going to get back. You're never going to get back your 20s. You're never going to get back your 30s where you should be partying, going out raving, going on holiday, exploring the world. When you get into your 30s, you're understanding your purpose, understanding, knowing what it is that you are and what it is that you're doing now. And by then you should be able to have a woman, a girlfriend, setting up house, buying your house, having a mortgage, you know what's there, having life insurance, setting down assets, making sure that your kids have something to build towards. By the time you're in your 40s, 50s, you're going on cruises, you're living your life out, you know what's there, you're able to retire, you're able to actually live the fruits of your labor. That's the way to go about it, not sitting there feeling like, you know what, I'm just going to hit the rat race and everybody else is trapping and everybody else is trying to be a rapper or everybody else is gang, so I'm just going to go on the gang way. But we realize that none of the man are winning on the gang way. So the question that I'm asking all of you guys, how much do you actually value your life? I know you need to get your ops. I know you're protecting your man them. I know you feel like you're in the gang. I know you feel like your life is hardship. But think about it. You're holding a knife, prepared to take the life of this guy because you dislike him, but at the same time willing to throw your own life away. Just want you to ask that question. Why? What's you guys' thoughts?